Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Chats with Chee. I am so excited, y'all, because listen, I told y'all we are packed with powerhouse women, and this powerhouse woman, y'all. First of all, I met her through the church, but that's another conversation for a different day because sis have gone through a journey. She's evolved. She's become a totally different version of herself. But what I won't do is yap with y'all long. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. So let's get into it. Hey, girl.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. We already started yapping.
Yeah.
First of all.
I realized that.
Yeah. I don't know how much is recorded, but we started the yap.
Okay.
And I'm happy. Tell the people
I got
who
more.
You are. Yeah, period. I got enough yap in me. Tell the people who you are.
Which version, right? So, my name is Lakisha Beauford, but I go by Key because I'm realizing that I'm the key to a lot of people's answers, prayers. So I go by Key.
Yes.
I am a creative, a producer, a minister. Yeah,
Yes.
that's simple, right?
Okay, because I love how you just told that as if it's just that. But
It is.
she's multifaceted. She's another multifaceted queen. And I don't know why we're sitting here acting like you that. But it's okay. I get it for the second time. She's like, I'm just going to give y'all my 3 or 4 titles. But I love that, though. It all works. But I think that's the beauty of what I love about you so much. Because you are multifaceted. And you don't lead with that. Because a lot of things I can just say, like, even when I thought I needed to decorate this, I'm like, hey girl, you like, oh yeah, for sure. Like, I got the stuff I can pull up. You've been decorating. You can do the things. You have set design. Like, girl, I asked you like, oh, I like this hat. And guess who designed the hat?
Me.
Yes. That's what I love. How did you get to this point of like leaning into your creativity?
Well, the truth is, I like to keep my money. So that means I like to learn so that I can do it for myself, but I also like to teach people so that I can build a team. Unfortunately, I haven't built that super team yet.
Yeah.
But I went to school for fashion design. Then I went to school for cosmetology because I kept running into the stumbling blocks of you need a license. Because I had a dream, I was in dance. I used to teach Clarkland. I used to teach Tri-Cities. Used to teach Banneker.
Jeez.
So
She's a dancer too. Stop playing.
So I used to teach them actually from high school to my first year in college, which is crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I used to teach them the auxiliary team.
Yeah.
And I had the vision of always seeing them in my sister did hair, but she still does, but she had a salon, and so I grew up around beauty. And I was like, I want to take the stress away from the dancers. I want to make a professional team that travels to the games and get the dancers together. It was called Beauty and the Beat. But everybody kept saying, you need a license and you need insurance. At that time, I was broke.
Okay.
So
I was a 3B.
I was a 3B.
Okay.
So I said, okay, we'll forget it. I'm going to go to school for fashion design. My family wanted me to go to the military. Baby, she couldn't get this weight down. They wanted me to be 120.
No.
I'm a big body Ben.
Leave. Because, baby, no.
No.
I'm not going to squeeze myself into. No.
And it was going to
That's
change me,
discomfort.
make me change who I really am. And I'm a creative person. And in the military, they take away your identity, right? One band, one sound, which is band. So I went to school for fashion design, graduated. Well, no, I didn't graduate. They closed the school. And then my mom got sick. I had literally like 6 months. But whatever. It was a certificate anyway.
It would blow me, though.
What you
Okay. You don't make me mad.
Then I did Aveda.
Okay.
I got licensed at Aveda, and that was a beautiful moment because I learned a different culture. Because growing up Black, we know about the relaxers, the weaves, but for me to go in there and to learn hair.
Yes. That's different.
It's different because now I can go anywhere. I can do any nationality. And a lot of people don't realize that. Like when we manipulate weave, we're manipulating another texture.
Yes.
But that's another day.
Okay. Because this about us. Okay. They just think it's a 1-2. It's not a 1-2.
It's not.
It's not a 1-2.
But if you apply what you learn, you can do anything. So then I graduated from there, and then I started working at the news station. doing hair and makeup at WSB.
Okay.
And then the funny thing I went by was Charisma at the point. And I had colorful, short, spiky hair, red hair, blue hair. Girl. And so one day I got Jovita Moore ready for the Emmys. And so because I did her hair, I'm like, I'm going to take a picture of this.
Make it make sense.
I posted it, tagged the news station. I was fired the next day. Fired.
Oh.
Bye-bye.
Well.
So the producer called my manager at the time and was like, who is Charisma? And I was like, and it's funny I'm telling you this story because what we just went through.
Yeah.
She was like, this is my intern. I was getting paid through her. And they was like, well, she looks like a stripper. How did she tag us? And why did she tag Jovita Moore? She was like, she did her hair. And depending on who you're attached to, what it looks like, and the brand, it might not work for your brand. And at the time, I was, of course, doing a number of other things. I was a part of a dance troupe. And we had just had a photo shoot of like Sexy and Black. It didn't register. It didn't
align with their vision of the brand.
Yep, with WSB. So, yeah, that ended. And then my journey just started with just discovering who I am and where I want to be and what does that look like. So the reason why I've learned so many things, so I don't have to work for nobody anymore and have to follow their brand. I can work with you, I can partner with you, but you can't tell me who I am or what I should look like. It's accept me and all of me, whoever shows up that day.
Okay. That's one thing I do love, because like when you and I had a conversation a couple weeks ago, and when we were talking about doing a collab, and I kept hearing you point that out in the conversation when you was like, no, we working with. It's a difference in a with and a for. And I feel like when you lead with that, it also helps with the mindset thing, because even when I was starting to form a partnership with the business, I'm so used to putting myself in this space of, oh, I work for this person and that's, or these people or this company. And it becomes a whole thing, because when I did have like a weird separation from a person that had a business, it was because I had the mindset of, I'm working for you. So a lot of my identity was through that. And I wouldn't show up a certain way. I wouldn't post a certain thing. There was no me. There was just the version of me that you needed me to be to get in order to get paid. And I don't like that way of, it's like dependency in a sense. Like, I don't like that feeling. So even now, when you said that recently, I'm like, yeah, because I've done a damn good job of coming up with who I am. It's a work with. This is a partnership. And if you say that this doesn't work for you and your brand, okay, that's fine. Well, bye.
Salutations.
Yes. And
no hard feelings.
Yeah.
And that's, people have to learn how to communicate.
Yeah.
And know how to say, hey, this does not work for me, as you beautifully know how to do.
Thank you.
And the person receiving it has to know and be mature or have communication skills to understand that. And if they don't, you did nothing wrong.
Exactly. That's one thing that I definitely, like, I appreciate you for that, because that was that tool. And even with the people, where I'm just like, who knows? Even putting this show out might make me lose a contract or two, but
it's okay.
That's fine. Like, because we're on purpose and we're doing things with purpose. So I love it. And I love you for that, because you so full of wisdom. That's one thing that I do like.
That's funny you say that, because in my morning studies, that's been the theme for this past 2 weeks, praying for wisdom. We pray for a lot of stuff. We pray for God send me money, God send me relationships, God send me whatever. But we don't say, give me wisdom to handle whatever you're sending me. Because if he sends you anything, or if anything happens, you got to know how to handle it.
That's real.
So we don't ever pray for wisdom.
Exactly. Because he can give you the $1 million you asked for, but baby,
do you know what to do with it?
Or do you know how to multiply it? Do you know how to plant the seeds? What are you doing? Yeah. Because what are you praying for? You're praying for the thing. But I love that. Pray for the wisdom. That's tea. How did you come up with that?
The Bible. The Holy Bible.
The Holy Bible.
When you read it, it's like, ooh, it's really better than Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah.
Because it actually is. Can you
scandal.
Imagine? Scandal. Honey, they had whores in the Bible.
Oh.
Oh wait, can I say that?
Yeah.
Hoes been hoeing since the Bible.
Yeah.
And so me as a minister, it's so funny. I let people talk and introduce their real person.
Be you.
And then they're like, so what about you? Oh, I'm a minister.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, don't change. Keep
Yeah,
talking.
no, stay here.
Stay here.
Because I'm
like
gonna stay
that
here.
blunt. You was smoking. It's cool.
Exactly.
Because being a minister is just a public announcement that's saying, or a communication with God that's saying, hey, I'm going to publicly walk this walk, but you got my back, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It doesn't mean I got to be different. That's why when scandals happen with ministers and pastors, they go to the public and repent. Why are you repenting to man?
Exactly. That's not your God.
And because
but for some it is.
Some it is. Because they praise you. And God said there shall not be any other God, any other idols. But when you live life, and you live it for one audience, you can be who you are and show up authentically, and people can still see you.
Exactly.
I was in the strip clubs doing hair.
Yes.
And praying for the strippers.
Yes.
Not because I'm like, girl, I need to pray for you. They
No.
like, girl, my baby daddy just beat my ass. And I'm like, you mean pray for you?
Yes.
And it reminds them of home. It reminds them that God still loves them. And wherever we go in life, regardless of where you go, you belong there.
Yes.
And until God moves you.
That's real. I love, because this literally ties everything in. I'm so full. But earlier I was saying, because I had Brittany on, and I met Brittany through
Shanae?
you. Yeah. I had her she was here. So it's a good time.
She's a whole good time.
Yes.
Are y'all from the same place?
No, she from Augusta.
Okay.
Yeah. I was talking about you through her, because I was like, this is how I met you at this event. But I was telling her, one thing I love is that we're all young, but we still show up for God very boldly. And we make it cool. Like, you make it cool because it lead with you. Don't lead with who you think you're supposed to be. And I love the fact that you're a minister, nails done, lipstick on, you cool as hell. You got the businesses. Like, we're sitting up here kicking the shit, and you're not like, oh no, wait, that's the one.
Be the glory.
Yes, God. Okay, stuff her up. Like, I don't want to be stuffy. I want to be free. And I'm grateful for you being the voice to just say, like, no, be free, be you, be authentic. And that's a big gem. Like,
it's all God though, because I had to sit with him. When my dad died, I started drinking, and I didn't drink. My dad drank, and then he got kidney failure, and I was like, I don't think this is how he wants you to do this to handle his transition. But I would drink a bottle a day of wine.
No.
Yeah,
Girl.
And then I had to see the ugly truth. Like, baby, this ain't end of life. You still got a mom to take care of. You still got to get through whatever you got to get through that's coming. And you have 7 years. I sat with myself, and I didn't like half of the stuff I saw. I didn't like the person I saw.
Yeah.
And to be able to be like, okay, that's why this happened. Or, and forgive yourself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us don't forgive ourselves.
We don't forgive ourselves, yes. That hindsight vision. I, too, wanted to know, like, what was that like? Being in a space where you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see. How did you deal with that?
It's ugly. It's dirty.
It's messy.
It's messy.
Yeah.
And that's why when, like, in church, I don't know if you ever seen... I hate it, but it makes sense. You see like a minister or a pastor or somebody, and they have somebody behind them. It's because it gets messy. Some people do throw up. Some people do release. Some spirits do come out. And if someone is not spiritually mature enough to handle that situation, it can get ugly. It can attach to you.
Yeah.
You ever been in a room and somebody walking in an attitude and the whole energy changes?
Yes.
It's
because shifts the room. No.
And people have to realize the difference between walking in with confidence and walking in with an attitude.
Yeah. Because you're actually showing up as a bitch.
Yeah.
And like, that's not confidence, babe. That's the other one. And we don't want that. Yeah. That's a real thing. And I feel like I'm learning my spiritual gifts, and we're going to talk about that. But I'm learning my spiritual gifts, and I realize being able to feel is it. Because, and I think for me, that developed and came through with doing hair, because you can come into the salon and I feel you from the time you hit that door. And I'm just like, what's going on? Like, what's up? Or if you coming in here heavy, I feel your weight. And you know, social media, they've labeled it over the years. They call it like, oh, well, I'm an empath. I feel everything. Like, they do the things. I know what none of that was. Like, but for me, I know where it's like, I'm able to feel it and I can speak to it. And, or even if I don't speak to it, I can shift or do what I need to do to shift this atmosphere to where you want to come up out of it because it don't make sense anymore. So I'm grateful for that for me, but I do feel like it took trial and error of figuring that out. How did you know that you wanted to be a minister?
I didn't. I still don't.
Yeah. Still don't.
I still don't.
Yeah.
It's something real. Like when you can't run from it. Like, you ever been with your family and everybody be like, she do my hair. And you be like, but I'm showing up as she today.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want to do.
I don't have a flat iron.
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, we got one in the back.
Right.
So it's the constant showing up places and you still are called out.
Yeah.
You can't run from it. Like, you can't.
They don't care.
You don't care. And then when I announced it to my family, I love y'all. But they don't really show up unless it's, you know, food, a little kickback,
a little liquor.
But they showed up for me,
at
my ordination.
Yes,
and that meant, I get choked up every time I think about it. Yeah. That meant so much for me. But I also knew that meant a new assignment. So even with the men in my family, you know, some women or some lesbians have that man trauma. I don't have that. The men in my family are beautiful, not perfect, but beautiful.
Exactly.
They're able to be vulnerable with me, and so now I get the phone call, cause I'm from Atlanta. So hey, cuz, hey.
You was on the part about cuz when you're not trying to show up. What do you do when, like, the assignment is calling you, but you're not mentally in that space to do it?
I ask God for wisdom, like, to how to handle the situation, because depending on what it is, I still have to show up even if we don't want to, because sometimes, I'm not going to say your mama, but, you know, when your mama tired, but she still got to show up, it doesn't matter. You have to show up. But I had to learn how to ask myself, are we mentally okay? Do we have the capacity to handle this right now? Communication. Yeah. I am big on communication.
Hashtag communication, baby.
Hashtag communication, baby.
Honey.
Because the world does not have that.
Yeah,
we are so in our phones. We'll walk past each other and don't say anything. I literally sometimes on purpose will go into stores and stop at the security officer. How are you today?
Hey.
You see me?
Because did someone speak to you today? Speak to me, because you ain't speak to me, so I'm going to speak to you. Because we're all still human. And I was taught as a kid, when I used to praise dance, my praise dance. Oh, so churchy.
We nuts.
In real life, she instilled that in us, like, always speak, always be gentle, always make sure you go and say something to somebody, because you never know what they're going through. And because you spoke to them that day, you could stop them from jumping out that bridge. Because you spoke to them, you know, you never know where people are. So that one smile could do a lot. And some people, you know, they just want to be seen, because maybe in your mind you could be in a mental space, but because I decided to come out of myself and just say, hey, how are y'all? How you feeling? That makes a huge difference. I love that. I told you, coming around you feels like a warm hug, and you give the best hugs too. You give good hugs. I love a good hug from you. I love that. How did you become this person who we're seeing today? The key.
Well, I can say what I'm currently doing for you to see this person today. I check in with myself daily, because I'm a sensitive bug. I will cry in a minute. And I'm learning not to hold it, but I take on a lot of responsibility of, like, if I hurt somebody, if I offended somebody. Because at first I was like, babe, did I say something to her? But she said, no, read it for what it is. It's black and white. Because when I transition, I want to make sure that I leave an impact, that I left somebody better than I found them. Yeah. So I just think about, really honestly, it sounds cheesy, how I want somebody to treat me.
Yeah, that's real.
Now, she still got a little ATL Zone 3 in her.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, because she ain't gone there. We just know how to put it.
But it's about my response.
Yeah, it's all in the response.
Sometimes somebody make you want to pull out my peace, and so they can be still. But I can't do that because then everything has a cause and effect.
Exactly.
And because I didn't react, it didn't affect my day.
Okay.
And I'm in jail.
Listen, for a while. And I don't want to be. Because she's too cute.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have no control over this. What I'm about to say.
Well,
please do not chop and screw this. Okay.
No. Safe spaces.
The reason why I'm also here today is because sitting in Rice Street jail after I put a knife to somebody's neck because they pissed me off.
Period. That's what this is for. Let's talk about it.
I was dating someone, and I was working for Bronner Brothers at the time, and it was Bronner Brothers is a huge show.
Yes.
What people don't know is there is not a crew. It is a crew, but the staff has to also go in, set up the tables, set up the floors.
Are you serious?
Unpack the boxes.
No shade, but y'all made too much money for that. Hire people.
They have people, but we're the salespeople.
No.
Yes, I was a merchandiser. So I traveled around the world with them. And then the showtime, everybody comes to Atlanta.
Yes.
So it was day 4, girl. We still, after y'all go home, we have to go back and take all that stuff down, take it back to the office.
You work in sales.
Girl.
Not production.
We ain't gonna, I'm gonna just.
We ain't gonna unpack it. Don't send me no cease and desist.
So.
No.
At the end of the day, so they let us off that day early, 1. Then we had a 3-day vacation. Went home, cleaning, singing with my dog at the
Feeling
time.
good.
Feeling good, And then here comes
the devil.
Slamming the doors. Now mind you, we live in front of Cynthia Bailey.
Oh my God.
So that neighborhood was nice.
Yes, and baby, you can't be slamming doors in here all crazy.
Baby, the police came real quick. So you come and you
don't piss me off.
You start to piss me off.
Yeah.
Why is the music up? Because I'm happy.
She's happy. I'm rejoicing.
Because I'm off work. Long story short, we got into an argument, door slammed, stuff got knocked over. I was like, just leave me alone. Yeah. So I was supposed to meet my mom 2 hours later. I called her, I was like, girl, I'm going to come tomorrow because I might just go to jail. Watch what you say.
Watch what you say. Your tongue has power.
Because 3 police showed up. And I went to jail that day.
Oh my God.
A nice trip.
And we be casually, oh girl, see, I'm getting this bitch. I'm gonna go to jail. No. But what if you do?
Yeah.
What if the police actually do show up fast?
Yeah.
Swiftly.
It was real fast.
Okay.
Knock, knock, knock.
Hey.
I was like, hey. The first 2 officers wasn't gonna take me. They was like, oh, it's a dispute. Okay, it's over. Y'all good? It was like, with Gucci. They was like, this is a nice house. I was like, thank you. But the third one was the charm.
Yeah.
He felt like he had to prove something because
you done call him out here, and he feel like, oh, I'm the big bad wolf today.
They call for backup because they're in this neighborhood.
Yeah, and they trying to figure out what's going on.
Black girl with blue hair just answer the door.
Okay, and then they want to know, is this her house? Because they so quick to yield. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so today that's a reminder. We don't want to go back and get silver bracelets.
Yeah, not those.
No,
I can't take those off.
No, I can't.
No.
And the lady said, my dad had just died a month ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So
mentally, that was a lot.
It was a whole lot. And
I could even see where parts of that rage would come from.
Yeah.
And not even knowing what else.
Balled it up, came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Girl.
So it was just a lot.
Yeah.
And so today, I like my freedom.
Yeah.
But I also love loving on people. I love communicating. Yeah. I love clear communication, black and white. Mm-hmm. If it's weird, I don't like weird. You're weird. Keep going.
We don't do weird. What did we say at your house about weird? It was so we said, I'm pissed. I should have wrote it down. We said something about being weird. Weird. I'm good on weird. It's a no weird zone, please. No.
We're adults. Just say what you. I don't.
Use your words.
Thank you.
Use your big girl words. No, thank you.
I don't wish for it.
No.
So
that's a real thing.
And people sometimes take bluntness. You taught me my self-worth in just reconnecting in a month or 2 months. A reminder, hey. You're worth 15. You're worth 2,000. You're worth 25. Just to get out your bed. Just to pick up the phone.
Yes.
And I had to learn how to communicate that with people. Hey, if I don't go to my 9 to 5, then my career I have to get paid for. You can't just call me to pick my brain. And learning boundaries. Yeah. And saying, hey, it's 7 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock. My hours are. 8
Yes.
to 5.
Okay.
I will not respond to you after.
No.
So the person you're seeing today is still every day actively checking in, trying to make sure that we know how to communicate. That how did I say that? How did that come out? Because sometimes you could just, because we're scatterbrained, right?
Yeah. It's a lot.
Like, ooh,
attention
fish.
spans. Okay.
Yes.
Attention spans is terrible.
It's real bad.
Yes.
But sometimes I just want to make sure I don't miss the mark. I'll respond, but it might not come out as soft. But I'm also not a soft girl. I want to be in that soft era, but I think right now I'm in my get it done era.
I feel that. It's funny that you even say that, because I do feel like it's okay to acknowledge what era you in, what season you are, and who you are in that season, because the internet, demonize like that. With you just saying like, no, I'm not in my soft era. I'm in my get it done. And somebody will have an opinion, be like, no, we're supposed to be. But it's like, no, that's probably what you're supposed to do. But as for me, in my house, this is what I'm doing right now. And then when that time does come, because everybody got to go through their own journey before you get to whatever destination you're supposed to be at. So I love that for you. Own that. That's good.
And but you know, after 9 to 5, we can kiki laughing.
Oh yeah, we can do the thing.
The thing.
Okay.
Because I'm a fun girl.
Yes. Okay.
But
and she has the time.
Be the millionaire I want to be,
Yeah.
when we go to Walmart, they're closed. When you go to Walmart, Target, Tesla, all these millionaires that we might not like now, they didn't care how we felt about the DEI being. They haven't liked us from the beginning. They're just bold enough to do it now.
Exactly.
Because
you can say it. You can't sue me for saying it now.
It was already at will state.
Exactly.
Now we ain't got to hire you at all.
Literally, I don't care. Girl, that's
when we learn politics, religion, and all that has been set up to control a certain environment, and you learn to think for yourself, become a free thinker, then you're looked upon as weird, as strange, as a bee, as unruly. And when people don't understand, they ostracize, they tear down.
That's real.
So we all sit around and we play the game.
Yeah.
But when I learn to play your game, you are confused.
You're wondering what the fuck.
It's called contracts. It's called boundaries.
Literally, it's called
rules,
no.
Regulations. It's called no.
Yeah. That's what it looks like. Yeah. It's funny that I can't remember the tidbit that you said, but it triggered a thought for me where, like, basically, when you start doing things like that, then it looks like this taboo thing, and then they're just like, oh my God, what are you doing? And coming from my hometown, I used to think like that. So my first official business was Rebel Code Beauty. And I called it that because I was like, growing up all my life, I've always been told I'm rebellious. Like, my mama, love you, girl. But she used to love to hit me with that, you're such a rebellious child. And to her, it instilled in me of, I'm being called rebellious because I have a question. I really just want to know why. And I'm not even saying, but why? It's not like that. Because I know you're going to slap the fuck out of me. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to ask you like that. I'm genuinely like, but why? Can I know why? But we weren't taught to ask questions. We weren't taught to say no. We weren't taught to set boundaries and stand up for yourself. Even earlier, one of the guests was like, no, don't be humble. Brag. Like, brag. Tell the people what you're out here doing. Yes, have humility, but stop hiding who you are, your successes, your accomplishments and things, just because everybody told us, be quiet, don't do this, don't do that. No. And I'm a strong believer in that. Like, no. And I created a whole business in the name of that because my brain was programmed to think like, me setting boundaries and saying no is me being rebellious. So let's just play on it, because one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to spin it.
But when you think about Jesus, he was rebellious. That's why people wanted to take him out. Even as a baby, they're like, who was this baby being born that is going to do what? Nah, kill all the baby boys that you can find, because we got to get him up out of here. So he was in the wild. He was in the hood. When I read the Bible, I look at it like now, right? He was on Bankhead.
Okay.
With the trappers.
Yeah, in the hoes. He was out there saving these hoes.
He was going to the temple, yeah, true enough, but he was mostly in these streets. So I have a clothing line that's called Jesus is for the Streets. Because he was in these streets.
He was in the streets saving souls.
And a lot of people, why would you say he's for the streets? When you talk about that, you be like, oh, she for the streets, he for streets. What does that mean? They for everybody.
Exactly.
Jesus is for everybody.
Exactly.
So
Make
why,
it make sense. Why can't I say it like this?
Why can't I say it like this?
Because, I mean, it caught your attention. And now you want to ask me,
hey,
come here, let me tell you about Jesus.
And the other thing, this might stir up the Christians.
That's fair. Hey.
I hate when people say, are you saved? Didn't his blood do that?
Because we're covered by it.
We're covered. So shouldn't the question be, do you believe? Are you a believer? Because if not, if my job is to be a minister, you're supposed to then help, not to convert, but to show why and who he is, so that you can believe that you're saved. Because it's already done.
Because God is love. And are we leading with love in what we're doing when we're talking to the people? Because, hold on.
No.
Ooh.
So that's why I kind of have stepped from the building, because I am the church. You are the church. We're the church. We're not the building.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why we still raising this fund to fix the air conditioners when we done raised about 10 of them. Because while we still sitting in this hot church.
1 + 1 = 2.
So I'm just saying. So I'm a rebel. I get it. I interrupt. I'm an interrupter.
Yeah.
I'm an atmosphere disruptor.
Yeah. It is hot in there.
Yeah.
And
I'm tired. Why does bathroom not work?
And stop telling me that I need to give more money when I don't know where it's going, because I'm still sitting to eat. and the toilet doesn't work. I don't drink water before I go to church because if y'all know, you know. Okay, if you know, you know. We have the whole insider moment.
Baby, why does the bathroom not work? Okay, move on.
Still doesn't.
Still doesn't.
By the way, you haven't been.
I've been there in 6, 7, 8 months. Yeah. Almost a year. Still doesn't.
Still doesn't. We're raising a bigger offer now, but
yeah. Ooh, I know a plumber that can come fix that for $1,000.
Yeah,
and it'd be great.
Cause I'm about to say it's plenty of them.
Let's stop. Next question.
Cause I'm like, my God, I got a game.
Okay.
All right, so the name of the game is Whose Voice Is That?
Oh.
So if I say no, I'll disappoint people. That's mine, that's theirs, still figuring it out.
Still figuring it out.
I feel that. Being soft means I'm weak. That's mine, that's theirs, still figuring it out.
That's theirs.
Yeah.
Because I've been told I'm a bitch. I mean, get to know me. You'll be like, why is she crying so much?
Yes.
Yeah, that's theirs. My best friend who passed away, she was a DJ, and we was working on her getting like world-renowned contracts. We was almost there. Yeah. And she called me a sensitive thug. She was like, you can't be no thug and cry. I couldn't stand her. But baby, if I could hear her one more time, if I could see her one more time, just to hear that.
Yes. And it's like, I own it. Because I am. It's power in owning those tears. Letting those tears.
These tears are saving you.
Yes.
Yeah. I love you, though. We all have it.
Boundaries push people away. That's mine, that's theirs, or still figuring it out.
That's mine.
Yeah. You're right about it. People don't like boundaries.
No. People be like, what you mean?
That will push them clean away. They are pissed. My worth is tied to how much I produce.
That's I don't know, because it's not. Because I know my worth. I know what I bring to the table. But then self saying we didn't do enough. So that's a teeter-totter.
Yeah, I feel that. That is a teeter. We'll see.
We'll see.
Depends on what we talk about.
But I know my worth.
Yeah.
I just know that self-wise, I would like to produce more so that I can raise the worth.
Yeah. Oh.
There we go.
Come on. Because that makes sense. I can see it. Okay. Last one. God is always speaking. I just have to be still.
That's all mine. Girl.
That's all mine.
That's all mine.
Yes.
It's
I
hard.
feel that.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that. Especially when you go through the journey. Like, baby.
People like, God ain't speaking. He's speaking even when he's quiet. Because he's just waiting on you to stop talking. Like, okay, whenever. You know, teacher be like, whenever y'all ready.
I'm going to sit here when y'all done.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
The teacher never left. She just stopped talking. So that you can get out whatever tantrum or whatever you need to get.
Girl. Guess what?
What?
We did it.
Oh, yeah. I didn't do it with no tears.
Yes. I'm so
You
proud
almost
of
got me, though.
I ain't gonna hold you. I felt something here too. And I was like, you know what? We got our lashes. We look good. We not Will it in. Bring it in. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me. Because it was so many people, but I made the number.
Yes. Listen, let me tell you something. The way God, he put his hand all over this.
This was a test of our building our friendship, though.
Yeah. I believe that. I'm grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you.
All right.